Bridge Show with Attorney B. So glad you can join us tonight. We have a lot of great information to share. So if you're joining us, please go ahead and drop comments in the box just to say hello so that I can see who's online with us. I am watching on my phone, but I can't always tell who's online. So if you can say hello and let me know you're here, that would be great. So once again, thank you so much for joining us for another episode. Wow, we're actually at episode 11. And I've had so many people that have tuned into our broadcast wanting information on this new public charge that went into effect back in February. So I decided to do a show about the public charge. And having reviewed all of the notes, I think this actually might turn into part 1 and part 2 because it's just that much information. So hi, Miss Yessie, nice to see you. Hey, Richard, it's great to see you. Thanks for joining in again. If you're just joining in, welcome to the Immigrants Bridge Show with Attorney B. This is episode 11, y'all. I can't believe we're at episode 11. So please go ahead and say hello so that I know that you're on because I can't see everyone as they're coming in. So hola, soy la abogada Bennett. Bienvenidos al programa número 11. Wow, no puedo creer que tenemos 11. So ahora vamos a hablar sobre la ley, el cargo público que está en efectivo desde febrero. So yo tenía mucha gente que quería saber más de esa ley. So vamos a hablar sobre ese punto hoy. Let's see. Let me turn down my cell phone. Oh, there you go. Hey, Miss Dawn, it's great to see you. Hey, Arthur, I think you're all the way in Boston. Thank you for joining us again. Remember, go ahead and share that we have this program going on so that other people also can get this information. So recuerda, usted puede compartir a su amigo, so ellos también pueden obtener esa información. Eso es uno de mis drinks de keto. Estaba en el dieta de keto, pero ahora es simplemente que estoy comiendo poquito de todo. No muy bien, no muy bien. I was just showing you guys one of my shakes that I drink. It's a ketogenic shake because I was on the keto diet. Right now, unfortunately, I am on the diet called eating poquito de todo, eating a little bit of everything. So I have fallen off the wagon, which is not good at all. So I see some more people joining in here. Hey, Miss Carol, it's nice to see you. Hey, Diane, thank you. This is my stolen lipstick. My cousin came from New York and she left it at my house. So I always tell my visitors, whatever you leave here, it belongs to me. So I've been enjoying her MAC lipstick. Hey, Benito, ¿cómo estás? Saludos, bienvenidos. Hola, Marlon, ¿cómo está? Good to see you. Gracias por venir. Lily, hola, Lily, ¿cómo está? Melissa, Ellie, nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. It's so nice to see everyone. So I am going to go ahead and get started so that I can give you the maximum amount of information. Again, couple things. When you come in, if you can please say hello so that I can see you and say hello. Number 2, if you can go ahead and share this video so that other people can watch it, that would be great. And also, if you have not liked our Facebook page, Bennett Law Center LLC, please go ahead and like our page and of course share our page so that other people that you know can benefit from this information as well. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Artemio. Good to see you. So estoy diciendo que 3 cosas antes de comenzarnos. Uno es que si usted está nuevo, dice que hola abogada, so yo puedo saber quién está mirando la programa. Número 2, por favor compartir esa información a su página, so sus amigos y familiares también pueden beneficiar de la información, es muy, muy importante. Y también, por favor, like nuestra Facebook page, Bennett Law Center LLC. So si ahora no like el página, por favor, like our page, okay? Hey, Miss Ashley, thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. So this is great information about the public charge. So esa es información sobre el cargo público, ¿ok? So hoy yo voy a específicamente hablar del proceso del consular. So si la persona está fuera de los Estados Unidos, esos son los tipos de casos que yo voy a hablar, ¿ok? So tonight, I'm going to focus our conversation on consular processing cases. So these are cases where the person is going to finish the process through the consulate in their home country. Okay, I have so many of these cases, so it's very, very important. Hey, Erica, how are you? Hey, Miss Chelsea, good to see you guys. Welcome. So recuerda, hoy solamente casos que está procesando por el consular. Mañana vamos a hablar de casos de cambiar de estatus aquí en los Estados Unidos. Es bastante información, so yo no voy a tener tiempo para hablar sobre los dos hoy. Okay, so I won't have time enough tonight to talk about the two different processes. So tonight we're going to be focusing on consular processing, cases that need to be processed through the consulate in the home country, as well as opposed to cases that deal with adjustment of status, which will be done here in the United States. So we're going to talk about the ones outside first. Hi, Elsie. How are you? Good to see you. Okay, so if you have questions about what I'm talking about, you can go ahead and ask questions, okay? So try to stick with questions specifically about the public charge for tonight. But if you have something off topic, I will try to get to those questions as well. Hoy, si usted tiene preguntas sobre el cargo público, definitivamente pone en los comentarios, ¿ok? Tratar el mejor para solamente darme preguntas sobre el cargo público. Otros días yo puedo responder a otras preguntas, pero hoy específicamente yo quiero enfocarme en el public charge. Okay? Hey, Jose, how are you? It's nice to see you. Go get your walk on and listen to the program. Okay, so first of all, I don't want you guys to be scared that this public charge thing is the end of the world, okay? It is not the end of the world. It's just a change in how they are processing these types of cases, okay? So, el punto número uno es que yo no quiero que toda la gente tiene miedo de ese proceso. No es el fin del mundo, es simplemente ellos están cambiando cómo procesa los casos. So, there are 6 factors that immigration will consider as to whether a person is going to be a public charge. Hay 6 cosas que inmigración va a considerar para saber si una persona va a ser un cargo público. Okay, so they're looking at 6 different factors. We're now going to talk about each factor. Ahora vamos a hablar sobre cada de los procesos. Okay. Hey, Michelle, how are you? It's nice to see you. So now we're going to talk about the 6 items that immigration is going to look at. It's called the totality of the circumstances. So they're going to be looking at the big picture, okay? Totality of the circumstances. Ella está mirando todas las circunstancias en 6 puntos. So, punto número 1, edad. So, point number 1, immigration is going to be looking at the age of the intended immigrant. Hola, Oralia. ¿Cómo está? So when they're looking at age, ellos pensar que personas que tienen 18 años hasta 61, eso es positivo. So they're going to think about people between the ages of 18 and 61 as a positive factor. So younger people, 17 and under, or people older than 62, that is considered a negative factor. So me entiende. Ellos están considerando es positivo si la gente es entre 18 y 61 años. Lo que es negativo por ellos, personas que tienen menos de 17 años, 18 años y más de 72 años. Okay, so younger people or older people are looked at unfavorably. I personally think this is very unfair because people who are filing for their parents, it will be considered negative because most of the time the parents are older than 62 years old. So en ese punto yo pienso que es definitivamente algo negativo por los padres. So, imagino usted está pidiendo a sus papás que está fuera del país y la mayoría de los padres tienen más de 62 años, so es un factor negativo. So, no me gusta eso, yo no pienso que es justo. So, eso es número uno, edad. So number one, it's age, and they're looking the younger you are and can't work, and the older you are and can't work, those are considered negative factors. Number two, health. If you are a person that does not have any diagnosed medical issues, that is considered a positive factor. Negative factor, of course, if you test positive for things they're looking for, like contagious diseases, such as syphilis or TB, those are negative, but also other conditions that might affect your health and ability to work, those things are considered negative as well. So things like you might have high blood pressure, diabetes, different things like that will be considered negative. And remember, this is for the applicant, okay? This is the person intending to come to the United States. So those things will be considered negative. So número dos es salud. Lo que es positivo, un factor positivo es si no tiene ningún diagnosis. Usted no tiene ningún enfermedades o nada crónico, nada así. Lo que es negativo es si usted tiene algo muy, how do you say, contagious, muy contagious, como sífilis o como TB. Eso obviamente es un factor negativo, pero también cosas con diabetes, presión alta, cosas así también, eso es considerado negativo y es un factor negativo. So, número dos, salud. Si usted no está de buena salud, ellos está pensando, va a ir a los Estados Unidos, no puede trabajar y va a depender en el gobierno para cuidar por sus condiciones médicas. So the health factor that they're considering, they're looking at, is this person going to come to the United States because of their health issues? They're not going to be able to work, and they're going to try to come and get medical benefits such as Medicaid or Medicare, I think, is for older people. And so that's why those things are considered negative. Remember, they are looking at the intended immigrant. So health is just one of 6 factors that they consider. The third factor, hey, Mia, how are you? It's nice to see you all the way from Ohio. Good friend of mine from Washington, D.C. So the third factor that immigration is going to be looking at in determining if the intended immigrant is a public charge is the family status. So before, they would just look at the petitioner, the person who filed the petition for the immigrant, and they're going to be looking at the affidavit of support. And if you're 125% above the poverty guidelines, you would automatically be considered that you're not a public charge. Okay. So before, you would be safe if you earned enough, you'd be okay. But now, or if you didn't, you could use a joint sponsor and you'd be fine. However, now they're not only looking at the petitioner, they're looking at every single person in the household. We actually had a case like this where we had to fight like hell to get our client back. And this was a DACA recipient, was stuck in Mexico for about 5-6 months, but thank God we were able to get her back by Christmas time last year. So they are definitely looking at the entire family and the household that's living in the house. Okay, so eso es muy importante. Punto número 3, ellos están mirando el estatus de toda la familia. So, ellos quieren ver personas que puede soportar al inmigrante. So, antes puede mandar su carta de soporte y todo está bien, especialmente si gana más de 125% de la línea de poverty. Eso está bien. Si no gana tanto, puede usar otra persona como el joint sponsor para ayudar el caso. Y si tiene joint sponsor y ustedes ganan bastante, entonces todo está bien. Pero el cambio más grande ahora que no me gusta es que ellos están mirando no solamente la persona que está pidiendo el inmigrante, ellos están mirando toda la gente en la casa. So, definitivamente tenemos experiencia con eso. El año pasado tenía una niña que tenía DACA aquí en los Estados Unidos y el papá que tiene residente estaba pidiendo a ella. So, ella tenía que salir a México para la cita final y ella pasa como 5 o 6 meses allá. Porque ellos están diciendo, pero la mamá no está trabajando, tiene otros niños que no está trabajando, ¿cómo va a soportar ella? So, toma como 5 meses antes de podemos ganar el caso y ella recibe la residencia para entrar. Gracias a Dios fue antes de la Navidad. So, hello everyone. Hey, Miss Veronica. Hey, Andrew. Great to see you. Hey, Miss Elizabeth. So family status is number 3, and it's very important. They're not just looking at the petitioner, they are also looking at every single person in the household. So this one I have seen have the most impact on our consular processing cases. So casos de, eso es el punto número 3 que yo veo personalmente que tiene más más problemas para la gente es el estatus de todas las personas en la casa. Y por estatus estoy diciendo el dinero que ellos están ganando. Okay? Number 4 is assets, resources, and financial status. What they're looking for is the person currently employed? Do they have any financial resources? Do they have a good credit score? Do they have insurance? Will they be able to pay for any unforeseen medical costs? Do they have any skills? What's their education level? These are the things that really will affect people for the public charge under this category. So assets, resources, and financial status. So all of these things, if they have a good job, they have skills, they haven't in the past taken any public benefits or anything like that, those things are considered positive factors. What's considered negative under this category is if the petitioner has received public benefits programs after February 23rd, 2020 for more than 12 months within a 36-month period. So this is actually the one that most people are worried about. So before I kind of dive down deeper into this, let me say it in Spanish. Hola, Vero. Nice to see you. Hey, Nisha Wagwan. Hey, Patricia. How are you? Is that my sister? Is that Charmaine watching? Yay! It's my big sister watching from Albany. Okay, so lo que estoy diciendo, número 4, Ellos están mirando si la gente puede soportar durante el tiempo aquí en los Estados Unidos. So, ellos están mirando la educación, los skills, si la persona está trabajando en su país, cosas así. Eso es muy, muy importante. Si ellos tienen cuentas de banco, ellos tienen savings, cosas así, aquí, así es muy importante bajo de ese factor. Lo que es negativo es si la persona que está pidiendo el inmigrante ha recibido beneficios públicos aquí en los Estados Unidos después del 23 de febrero de 2020 por más de 2 meses entre un tiempo de 3 años. So es muy, muy específico, pero ese punto la gente tiene mucha confusión y muchas dudas y mucha confusión. So yo voy a tomar, mucho tiempo hablando de eso. So remember what I just said, that what they are looking at under this category as a negative is if the petitioner has received any public benefits after February 23rd, 2020, for more than a 12-month period within a 3-year period in total. So it's very specific. So a lot of people have been asking, my kids are receiving food stamps, or I receive Medicaid, my kids have this. Should we stop these benefits? Should I stop getting WIC? And the answer is, remember, they're looking at things that have started recently for more than a year within a 36-month period. So those things, if you need the benefit, you need the benefit, right? So I don't think that you should overly worry about this, because this is only one factor out of 6. Okay. And remember, just because you have received a public benefit does not automatically mean that your immigrant is going to be found to be a public charge. I am going to go deeper into, let's see here, which specific programs are considered public charge. So lo que estoy diciendo es que bajo de esa sección, recuerda, es para personas que han recibido beneficios públicos en la casa después del 23 de febrero de 2020 por más de 2 meses a 12 meses entre un periodo, entre un tiempo de 3 años. So es muy, muy específico. Y lo que yo quiero que ustedes entiendan es que eso es solamente un punto de 6. So, toda la gente está confundido y tiene dudas. Oh, mi hija tiene Medicaid, debe parar ese programa y cosas así. So, el punto, yo voy a explicar un poquito más exactamente qué programas cuenta. So, obviamente va a tener un efectivo negativo en el caso, pero no es el fin del mundo. Eso es solamente uno de los puntos que ellos van a mirar. So right now, let's talk about what benefits are considered for purposes of the public charge. Hey, Elsa, it's so nice to see you. Hey, Joe, how are you? Okay, so what are the benefits that are included? Number 1, cash support. So if you are getting welfare or any kind of cash, that is definitely one of the benefits they are looking at, and it will be considered negative. Number 2, non-emergency Medicaid. Non-emergency Medicaid for an adult, okay? So who is exempt from this? They're not looking at kids under the age of 21. They're also not looking at pregnant women. So if you have received regular Medicaid for a child in the house, you're pregnant and you receive Medicaid, this Does this, I'm sorry, non-emergency Medicaid does count against you, but the exception is for children under the age of 21 and pregnant women. So if you are filing for someone and you have a kid in your house that's getting Medicaid, that will not count against you, or it should not count against you. Number 3, if you are getting food stamps, personally, that will count against you. Again, if it's food stamps for kids in the household and you're personally not getting it, then it should not count against you. But they are looking at food stamps. Housing assistance like public aid, Section 8 housing, that is definitely a public benefit that they are looking at. So remember, cash, Medicaid under certain circumstances, food stamps, and public housing programs. Those are things that will factor negatively concerning the public charge. So, beneficios que ellos están chequeando como 4 cosas. So, número 1 es si está recibiendo cash en efectivo, eso cuenta contra usted. ¿Ok? So, cash es una de las cosas que es un problema por el cargo público. Número 2, Medicaid. Sí, Medicaid cuenta, pero hay 2 excepciones. Número 1, si la mujer está embarazada o hijos que tienen menos de 21 años. So, si tiene hijos que está recibiendo Medicaid, no cuenta bajo de los factores del public charge. Pero si usted es adulto y está recibiendo Medicaid o Medicare, entonces eso es un factor negativo. Número 3, food stamps. Yep, food stamps cuenta contra la gente si está recibiendo food stamps. Y número 4, si tiene casas públicas como el sección número 8. Esas son las 4 cosas que afectan a la gente negativamente bajo de las leyes del cargo público. So now I'm going to talk about what public benefits do not count against you, okay? These do not count against you. Number 1, so yo voy a hablar sobre las cosas que no cuenta contra la gente. Número 1, disaster relief. So cosas, okay, I'm sorry, I keep thinking in my head in Spanish and English. I don't know what I'm talking. So número 1 es si está recibiendo ayuda por un desastre. Eso no cuenta contra usted. So cosas con COVID y cosas así no cuenta contra ustedes, okay? So number 1, disaster relief. If you're getting anything from COVID, it does not affect you for public charge purposes. Número 2, emergency medical assistance. Okay, emergency medical assistance. If something happens to you and you need to go to the doctor, that's not going to count against you for an emergency. Okay, otra cosa que no afecta es si hay una emergencia y tiene que ir al hospital, eso no cuenta contra usted en casos de emergencias. Okay. Cosas de, number 3, I should say it in English first. Number 3, if you are receiving if you're Native American and you're receiving anything from your local or tribal programs other than cash assistance, that does not count against you. So if there are any kind of state, local, or tribal programs that you qualify for other than cash, it does not count against you. So otra cosa que no cuenta contra usted, número 3, es si está recibiendo beneficios del estado o de un tribe, no sé cómo se dice en español, pero es para personas que son americanos nativos. Eso no cuenta contra la gente. Number 4, benefits received by an immigrant's family members. This is very important, and this is what's scaring everyone. This is clearly saying that, just like I said before, people in your household that are receiving these benefits and you, the petitioner, is not receiving it, it should not count against you. Is that what's happening in practice? I can't say that for sure. I think they still hold these things against people, but technically they should not. Personas que, en su casa, ellos no deben cuenta personas que están recibiendo ayuda del gobierno contra usted. So, si la persona que está pidiendo no está recibiendo nada, ningún beneficio, pero otras personas en la casa están recibiendo los beneficios, eso no debe cuenta contra el inmigrante. Yo no sé si ellos están haciendo eso, pero yo tengo duda que ellos están perjudicando a la gente si personas en la familia están recibiendo los beneficios. Ellos no deben, pero yo pienso que quizás algunas veces ellos están perjudicando el inmigrante. Otra cosa, another thing that doesn't count against people is WIC. So if people are receiving WIC in the house or whatever, that should not affect them. So personas que están recibiendo WIC, WIC, eso no debe cuenta contra la inmigrante también. Está recibiendo comida de la escuela, eso no cuenta también. So school lunches, breakfast, that should not count against the immigrant's family member either. If they are receiving transportation vouchers, eso no debe afectar la gente either también. So si la persona está recibiendo beneficios por transportación, eso también no cuenta. A big one, a lot of people have questions about, what about receiving tax credits like the Earned Income Credit, the EIC credit? That should not count against people either. So, una cosa grande que la gente está preguntando, si yo recibe el tax benefit porque yo tengo niños aquí, si eso va a afectar. Y la respuesta es no. So, si recibe el Earned Income Tax Credit, eso no debe afectar el caso también. Otra cosa, si la persona está recibiendo dinero del gobierno por la educación, eso también no afecta. So another thing, people that are maybe in school that have received Pell Grants or student loans, those types of things do not count for public charge purposes either. So as you can see, there are a lot of different things that do not affect the determination of whether a person should be considered a public charge or not. There are literally only 4. Cash, non-emergency Medicaid, food stamps, and Section 8. Got it? So simplemente hay 4 cosas que no afecta el cargo público. 4 cosas. 1, cash, dinero en efectivo. 2, Medicaid. 3, food stamps. Y 4, casas públicos. Okay? So it's a lot of information, but remember, it is only one of 6 factors. And so far, we're only on factor number 4. So recuerda que eso es solamente uno de los factores y yo explica solamente los primeros 4. So ahora yo voy a explicar los otros 2. Okay, so now I'm going to jump into the other 2 factors and we'll go from there. Number 5, número 5, la educación de la otra persona. So number 5, they're going to be looking at the applicant's education and skills. So what is positive? They're going to look at whether the person went to elementary, middle, high school, they got a GED, they have higher education, they have some skills, some certifications. Maybe they didn't go to school, but they're a certified electrician. They have basic English skills and maybe even other language skills. So they're looking, if I bring this person to the United States, do they have any education and skills that's going to contribute to the United States economy? Because what they're trying to prevent is immigrants coming here and being lazy. And now we know we already know immigrants don't come here to be lazy. Most of us start out working 2-3 jobs to make ends meet. So this whole thing, don't get me started, y'all. What is negative under this category is if the person has no occupational skills, they don't have any English skills or very limited language proficiency, or a person that's in school that doesn't have the ability to work right now. Those are considered negative factors. So, en español, lo que ellos están mirando es la educación o otras cosas que la persona tiene en su vida que puede ayudar trabajando aquí en los Estados Unidos. So, lo que es positivo, si ellos ir a la escuela, quizás high school, tiene un GED, tiene ir a colegio, cosas así, personas que tienen un degree, o si no ir a la escuela para un degree, quizás ellos tienen skills como ellos tienen certificación que es que puede usar aquí en los Estados Unidos para trabajar. También uno de los factores bien grande es si la persona habla inglés o inglés básico. Ellos están mirando eso también. Lo que es negativo es la persona no tiene ninguna educación, no ha trabajado en su país, no tiene nada. So, ellos tienen preocupaciones si esa persona ir a los Estados Unidos no puede hablar inglés, no trabajaba en su país, ¿qué ellos va a hacer en los Estados Unidos? Recuerda la mente de inmigración. Ellos pensaban que los inmigrantes están viniendo a los Estados Unidos para no trabajar aquí, simplemente para recibir beneficios. Obviamente eso es ridículo porque la mayoría de nosotros que son inmigrantes de otros países aquí tiene 2, 3 trabajos. Nadie está simplemente sentando y depende del gobierno de los Estados Unidos. So eso es algo, por mí es muy ridículo. Número 6, the final one is the sponsor, meaning the petitioner's ability to support. So remember, we kind of talked about this a little bit before. The sponsor, they're looking at the sponsor's income or assets, and they want to see people at 125% above the poverty level. And that's something that, you know, we have to look at the taxes and the AGI, the adjusted gross income, to see whether they meet that. So that's something that your attorney can help you to determine. Now, this is something new. They're also looking at the relationship between the immigrant and a potential joint sponsor. Okay, let me say that in Spanish because this is kind of something new. Before, you know, you can get someone to be a joint sponsor for the immigrant and it wasn't an issue. Now they're scrutinizing very, very deeply what kind of relationship does the sponsor have with the intended immigrant. So we have definitely seen this come up quite a bit. Lo que estoy diciendo es que número 6 es si el sponsor o petitioner puede soportar, apoyar el inmigrante. So, recuerda que yo expliqué antes que eso fue la carta de soporte. So, normalmente su abogada puede ayudar mirando sus taxes para verificar si tiene income más de 125% del poverty guidelines. ¿Ok? Y si no gana tanto, puede usar otro sponsor para ayudar el paquete. Pues, un cambio grande es que ahora inmigración está chequeando qué es la relación entre el patrocinador. How do you say that again, guys? The joint sponsor in Spanish, I know it's patrocinio or something like that. But anyway, ellos están mirando la relación entre the joint sponsor y el inmigrante. So, en mi oficina tenemos problemas con eso cuando ellos están diciendo, pues, no es un familiar. You know, qué tipo de relación tiene ellos con el inmigrante. So, eso es algo que ellos están chequeando, por cierto. Other things that they're looking at about the under this category is whether the sponsor has received public benefits, kind of like we talked about before, whether the sponsor has a previous bankruptcy, or whether the sponsor has received a fee waiver for certain immigration benefits. So eso, patrocinador. Oh, great. I knew it was something like that. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Miss Veronica. Thanks, Arthur. So these are some new things that we're definitely seeing with immigration. So en español, alguna cosa que ellos están pensando es negativo es si el sponsor ha recibido beneficios públicos, como estamos hablando, es algo que ellos van a considerar negativo. También si el sponsor ha declarado bankruptcy, bancarrota, I think, bankruptcy, bancarrota en el pasado, y también si la persona recibe un perdón de los trámites de inmigración en el pasado. So, ahora ellos están mirando qué historia financiera tiene ese petición, ese petitioner. So, es mucho, pero esas son las cosas que ellos están mirando todas las circunstancias, no solamente uno de los factores. Ellos están mirando número 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 y 4 y 6, 5, 6. So this is basically a quick overview of what immigration is looking at. They're looking at the totality of the circumstances. Not one of these factors will make the determination. They're going to be looking at everything. So there are some new forms that immigrants are required to fill out during this process. Again, please remember, this is specific to the Department of State, to consular processing cases. Tomorrow, we will talk about cases that are being processed here in the United States. So let me check the comments here and see if we have any questions. Here is one question. Ms. Dawn is asking, would there be a problem if the joint sponsor is a blood relative of the immigrant? So la pregunta es si es un problema si el patrocinador es un familiar de sangre del inmigrante. No, ellos prefieren que la persona es familiar. So they do prefer if the sponsor is a family member. Let's see. Laura has a question. Okay, so Laura is asking, so if the beneficiary's name is not on the paperwork, like Medicaid, food stamps, but everyone else's is, does it affect them still? So no, like I explained, if the immigrant name is not on the paperwork saying that they're receiving public benefits, and it's for people that are in the household, it should not affect this public charge decision. However, remember, category number 3, when they're looking at family status, they are going to be looking at what's going on with the family members that are in the house. Before, they didn't look at what was going on in the house, but now they do. So even though it should not have an effect on this determination, I think that it can have an effect on it. So la pregunta es, si la persona que está pidiendo el inmigrante no tiene ningún beneficio, pero otras personas en la casa tienen beneficios, si eso va a afectar el caso. Como estoy diciendo que eso no debe afectar, porque la persona en realidad no está recibiendo los beneficios, pero las personas en casa están recibiendo. So ellos no deben cuenta esa contra la persona. Pero en el otro categoría número 3, cuando ellos están mirando la gente en casa, yo pienso que ellos pueden considerar ese factor. So, eso no debe ser algo que debe afectar el caso, pero yo pienso que en realidad quizás va a afectar, porque ellos están mirando no solamente la persona que está pidiendo, ellos están chequeando toda la gente en la familia, en la casa, perdón. Let's see if I have any other questions. I hope I don't miss any. Is this helpful, guys? I've been talking for like 45 minutes, so my throat is like crazy. Is this information helpful? Here's a question. Is my son being on disability for his epilepsy going to harm my husband's case as we wait for a date in Juarez? So la pregunta es, si mi hijo tiene disabilidad y mi esposo está esperando la cita para ir a México, si eso va a afectar el caso. Otra vez, eso no debe afectar el caso porque es solamente, no es una de categorías que va a perjudicar la gente. Especialmente si su esposo está trabajando. Su esposo está trabajando aquí, él va a tener records que él está trabajando. So, eso es evidencia directa que no debe afectar el caso. So, if the child is receiving disability, this really should not impact it. Public charge, that is actually in the category of things that should not count against people. If the government determined that a child is disabled, that should not count against the parents of the child. Furthermore, if the immigrant, in this case, he is already here in the United States and he is working and we can demonstrate that he has been working, paying taxes, that is going to be a considerable factor in his benefits. So remember to always keep in mind that this is a totality of the circumstance. They're not looking at one thing. They're looking at 6 different things to make this kind of determination. Let's see what else. Very helpful information. Okay, we also have another question. I'll take this as my last question. Is there a certain amount a sponsor has to make, like a family of 3? So, la pregunta es si es, cierto, si la persona que está pidiendo, si necesita ganar un específico dinero. Do they have to make a specific amount to be a petitioner or sponsor? It depends. I can't really say because it depends on how many people you claim on your taxes, plus the immigrant. So we really would need to see the tax returns. If you have claimed 5 people on your tax returns and you make a certain amount of income, the more people you claim, the higher your income requirements will be. So es muy difícil para decir cuánto dinero tiene que ganar, porque depende cuántas personas está en los taxes. Si está reclamando como 6 personas, necesita más dinero que una persona que solamente tiene 2 o 3. So todo depende del tax return. El número que tenemos que mirar es el AGI, the Adjusted Gross Income, para verificar. Pero es difícil si no sabemos, cuántas personas está en la casa. I have one last question. Of course, Arthur, he loves to throw me these questions, but I thank you for watching pretty much every day. His question is, if when the petitioner filed for their relative overseas before February 20, but these new charges, will they still count against them? So I think the question is, what if you had filed for your family member before February 2020? Will these changes affect those cases? Absolutely. So any case that is moving forward as of February 2020, they will fall under these new rules. La pregunta es si tiene un caso que ha comenzado antes de febrero 2020, si esas nuevas leyes va a afectar a la gente. Y la respuesta es sí, porque comenzando 24 de febrero y adelante, todas esas personas se está afectando. Okay? So that is, you're welcome, Laura. I'm happy to answer your questions. And I see two badass attorneys tuning in, attorney Sasha Watson Sankey out of Orlando and Sonia Peterkin, both very good friends of mine, both Jamaican attorneys, girl bosses. I love it. I love them very much. So shout out to y'all for tuning in. Thanks for joining in. We're at the end. I'm so tired for going through this public charge stuff, but so many people were asking about it that I thought it would be a good idea to talk about the public charge. We will do adjustment of status and the public charge tomorrow. So today, we only focused on talking about the public charge issue as it relates to consular processing for people that have to go through the process through the consulate in their home countries. So, estoy cansada, pero esa información es muy, muy importante porque yo pienso que es mejor para que la gente tiene información correcta. Como yo siempre estoy diciendo, you know, knowledge is power. So it's great for people to know correct information. So, si usted pensaba de otras preguntas, por favor, contactarnos y podemos ayudar. So thank you again for tuning in. If you have not liked our Facebook page, please go ahead and like us on Facebook, BennettLawCenter.com. And of course, please, please, please go ahead and share this program so that other people are able to watch what we're talking about. Thanks again for your time. I'll see you tomorrow.